Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and we are specifically going to talk about the new Secret Invasion 6-episode series. Absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It was, and so really, where are we at? We're dealing with these Disney, Marvel shows, right, which are trying to replace movies because all these streamers really want people to be excited. And I have to say, this is what gets me excited about having Disney Plus, right? Is these Marvel shows, the Star Wars shows. These are important, and I really like them. They are fantastic. I absolutely love to see these shows, and it's really, it does add a lot, right? So I want to look at this in context to Dungeons & Dragons and talk about what every Dungeon Master can learn from Secret Invasion. So, spoilers for all of Secret Invasion here. So first of all, one of the things I think is really fascinating is just the warlord commander type character of Nick Fury, right? One of the things that we really need to get better at in Dungeons & Dragons is Nick Fury is a powerful man who's dangerous. He's an individual soldier who's quite dangerous, but he's also a leader. He's a general. He tells people what to do. He brings people into plans and allows plans that span literally different worlds to come to fruition. And we really do not have this nailed down. We have so much detail in combat, right? But we really don't. We have not arrived at a space where followers are managed, where leadership is managed. It's very, persuade. We just have a few skills, and there's really no mechanics around this. So how do we start to bring, the warlord type character, the commander type character to Dungeons & Dragons? Because it's perfectly shown how powerful they can be through Nick Fury, and we really don't have any structures within Dungeons & Dragons to allow this, right? So one, I think we need another Strixhaven book where we get significant progress on social interaction and mechanics around social interaction. So that's definitely needed. The other thing I thought was really important, extremely important from the perspective of the Secret Invasion, is the big, sloppy, wet Skrull kiss at the end. So basically, Nick Fury is shown to have a wife who is a Skrull, right? And he's known she's been a Skrull, but she's been keeping her human form, right? But he's been with her for decades, right? And so this really is a love is love question, right? And it's really fascinating because it was, it's going right back to that issue of, hey, mixed race couples, that should be a thing, right? And America is all about this. We've been on the love is love for a long time. We're like, hey, African Americans can marry Caucasians can marry Jewish people can marry Asian people can marry American Indian people, and this love is love is a huge theme, right? And but the work isn't done. We still have spaces, literally a few states in America, where you will still get a side eye at a mixed race couple, right? And so this is pushing that bar and saying, hey, the narrative, it's powerful, and it's important for us to show that we need to be careful about making sure that we understand inclusivity and that people should not be divided, right? And Secret Invasion does a fantastic job of this, but our job as Dungeon Masters is to continue that work and say, okay, how do I show, that this dwarf has fallen in love with this elf, right? That this plasmoid has fallen in love with this human. That this Aarakocra has fallen in love with this Kalishtar, right? What is a dream bird? We're going to find out, right? And one of the things I'm really proud of is Dungeons & Dragons is doing this with the 2024 core rulebooks and saying no more half-elves, no more half-orcs. We don't need to call anybody half anything, right? We can make sure that everybody understands love goes in every direction, and you could bring these two people together and they could create something new, right? And that's exciting. And so I think the Secret Invasion did an excellent job of setting an example of how to make something that looks odd and unusual, but to make it beautiful and to fill people with hope and inclusivity and progression, right? Like, and fill people's hearts with that energy, right? So I think this is an excellent source for any dungeon master to watch. And then once you get it there, make sure, I got a series going on right now that goes through all the species in Dungeons and Dragons. Make sure that you actually circle that around and show how you would actually make this happen in a Dungeons and Dragons game practically, right? And it can be very challenging because, one, when we open up romance to the table, not only does the dungeon master need to handle that well, but players need to handle that well as well. So if you're a dungeon master, you need to be progressive. You need to process this correctly. And you need to do a good job of representing this, okay? At the same time, right, we need to, we absolutely need to, players, you have to do your part. You have to handle this right. You have to process this correctly. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.